as well. Thank you.
And Carol, I hope there's a small one for Nika. All righty. And next up, our wonderful pediatrics group, Alex Levin and Lenny Nelson.
I'm going to ask Lenny to go first as the co-director of our service and the director of our Strabismus Center to present to our Strabismus Research Fellow.
Great. Thanks, Alex. Well, it's really a pleasure to present Dr. Al Jilvaji, who's spent a year with us doing research and having really involved in many clinical projects. Hopefully, many of them are going to have quite significant impact in strabismus. And as a side thing, Aldo was so good this year that he's coming back for another year in a little different role in clinical. And he's actually going to go back to Italy and be one of only a few pediatric ophthalmologists in Italy. So, Aldo?
Thanks very much. One thing that Lenny didn't tell us about Aldo is also my fashion consultant. We had a conversation, the first day I met Aldo, we had a conversation around the table. What would you want to be if you weren't a doctor? And he said he'd like to be a fashion consultant. And I said, well, how do I look today? But I'm not very good at this. How do I look? And he said, not so bad. We're looking forward to having Aldo as our pediatric ophthalmology fellow next year. Next is the Bradway Research Scholar, really our first Bradway Research Scholar, and I think the story is very important to tell about how this all happened. I remember with Joe Bilson and I were sitting in his office many years ago, and he's kind of opening his mail, and there was a surprise letter in the mail of a donation to create a research fellowship at the Harley Chair. And it was a grateful patient of Robeson Harley, who was really the founder of pediatric ophthalmology in the United States. The name was Bradway and created this position, and we are just delighted that Waleed Abdelnabi, who comes to us from Jordan, my first fellow from Jordan, who's been a great addition. In fact, so good, he's staying on for a second year as our Bradway Research Scholar. So congratulations, Waleed. Waleed also told me that you kissed 3 times in Jordan, right? Next up is Natsukar Wangcharamnwe. Now, that is a difficult name to pronounce, but in Thailand, there's a tradition that in your family with multiple siblings, you get a shorter nickname. So she has a brother, Bop, and one who's Bim, and she's Beer. Now, as you might imagine, that's created some problems. Say I'm in the room with a family and I need her, and I would say, can someone please get me beer? What is going on? I assure you that has nothing to do with the alcoholic beverage. In fact, Beer barely drinks beer. Beer is one of those people that just kind of brings sunshine every day into your clinic. Just absolutely wonderful. I don't think anyone in this room, talk about number of cases, has said thank you as many times. You'd say, Beer, you don't do the most terrible thing. Thank you very much. She's just so nice and so kind and so smart, so humble. I can't tell you how many diagnoses she's made that I've missed, how many times really the key focal point for understanding the patient's problem was discovered by Beer. She's worked hard. She's made our ocular genetics service really better every day. She'll go back to Thailand to be the second ocular geneticist in Thailand, the first also a graduate of our ocular genetics program. Congratulations to Beer. And of course, we don't kiss.
Congratulations.
And lastly, is Casey. Casey LaMattina makes you maybe think, those of you who are a little older, the audience of Casey and the Sunshine Band, and it's very appropriate. We got her a T-shirt that said Casey and the Sunshine Band at our farewell party because she is also really brings sunshine to our clinic. Casey has worked hard. She's one of those people who can say yes with a smile, even though she's gritting the back teeth, and has really just worked hard. I was asking around, as we do, what you think of Casey this year, but oh, she's so wonderful. Oh, she's so great. She works so hard. Oh, she's so wonderful. You won't find a person to say a bad word about Casey. It's been an absolute joy and pleasure having her. She does have one fault, though. Doesn't know how to get a job. She graduated residency and did a year of kind of training internationally. And she does a year with us. Now she's going to do a year in uveitis to be the first person I've ever heard of who's been trained in both pediatric ophthalmology and uveitis back in Chicago. She's overtrained, and her parents have asked me to specifically note, get a job. Come on, Casey. I'm not done. See how I move the chief around? I want to say something to the residents. You guys are great. Graduation is a little bittersweet always because as much as you guys are anxious to get out of here and we're proud of your accomplishments, we're always a little bit sad to see you go. You've been a particularly great class, and I've got to know many of you fairly closely, and every minute of that has been a pleasure and a privilege. You really are special people. Thank you for letting me into your lives. Thank you for letting me participate in your education. You're all going to do great. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
And now, bringing up the back of the eye, our retina service.
Thank you, Julia. I'm Carl Regillo, the head of the Retina Service, and with me is Aaron Sivalingam and Rick Kaiser, our fellowship director and co-director.